Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of Newsware's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the most up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me today is our trading anchor, Bill Olson, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. Let's get things started with our markets update. U.S. futures are moving higher this morning, with S&P futures up 0.18%, Dow futures up 0.16%, and NASDAQ futures up 0.21%. Markets have had a cautious tone earlier this morning as traders look toward tomorrow's key U.S. jobs data before shaping bets on the path of Federal Reserve policy tightening. But things are moving more optimistically as we come closer to the open. The 10-year US Treasury yield has remained steady, just below 1.3%, and the dollar is unchanged. The biggest upcoming catalyst on U.S. markets remains the U.S. payrolls data due this Friday, as it will likely provide clues on the economy and the implications for a reduction in the Fed's $120 billion of monthly bond purchases. Investors will be trying to assess when the Delta variant outbreak might peak and how that will play into the timing of bond tapering. It's worth noting that global stocks are near record levels and gauges of implied financial market volatility are declining, which suggests that there's a lot of optimism around the idea that the reopening from the pandemic will weather challenges. Elsewhere in markets, oil has ticked higher after OPEC Plus stayed with a plan to boost crude production with wagers that the market can absorb the additional supply. Over in Europe, the Stock 600 index moved higher, led by gains in travel firms. Over in Asia, while China's overall market was steady, Chinese tech shares listed in Hong Kong came off their highs after criticism of ride-hailing firms highlighted risks from the nation's ongoing crackdown on private industries. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
Well, Shane, I've been watching the S&Ps. They've been ticking higher, which is always a nice positive every morning. They're displaying a solid move higher in the green. So, that's kind of nice. And, today we do have the jobless claims report. So that jobless claims report, all eyes are going to be on it. But realistically, in my view, the sentiment really it's bullish. It's everybody's expecting some good things to happen, but everyone's focus is really on tomorrow's non-farm payrolls report, which really is going to give the markets its next chance to guess how the U.S.'s Federal Reserve is going to be slowing or tapering its monthly asset purchases that they're doing. Remember, Powell, he has signaled that the central bank would be watching employment data as it mulls its end of, as it mulls its the end of its pandemic buying measures, which they've been doing to add liquidity to the market. I'm watching oil, what you mentioned yesterday about OPEC. Yeah, they stuck to their expected production schedule, even though Biden, the White House said 2 weeks ago, hey, consider, increase in the output. No, they're sticking with their plan. I saw that the EIA released their oil stockpiles reports. There was a big draw above the estimates that came out yesterday morning. Asian markets, positive. That's nice. European markets, they opened up really strong this morning, and they saw some nice gains, and then they sold off, and now they're flat. They're flat to lower. Now they're flat to higher. I still think we're going to have a positive opening today. I'm looking at, my Dow stocks, everything looks green. So that's a positive. That's a good indication. And this afternoon we have, earnings reports from Broadcom, DocuSign, Guidewire, Cooper Tires, Korn Ferry and others. So yeah, there's a lot to watch. There's a lot going on, but let's keep our eyes on the tape.
Moving into our earnings to watch, starting things off with what we've seen come in so far, looks like Signet Jewelers did great. Bill, why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, Signet Jewelers did good. They really delivered a good beat. You look at Signet Jewelers, they beat by $1.88. They did it on higher revenue. There's buyback news. You look at the stock, it's up 8.48% this morning. Five Below, on the other hand, that's ticker FIVE, Frank, India, Victor, Edward. They missed by 4 cents. They did it on lower revenue. You look at Five Below, it's down almost 8% this morning. But their business is solid. Their business is solid, and the brokers are going to line up behind Five Below today. Watch. Ticker AI, Apple India, which is C3AI. These guys missed by 9 cents. But they did do it on higher revenue. You look at the stock, it's down 7.83% this morning. Symantec, that's ticker SMTC, Sam, Michael, Tom, Charlie, they beat by 3 cents and they did it on higher revenue. If you look at the stock, it's up 7.81% this morning. Ciena, ticker CIEN, Charlie, India, Edward, Nancy. What can I say? They beat by 13 cents. They did it on higher revenue. Stock's up 6.35%. That's all good. Land's End, Land's End was trading good all day. Earnings came around. They delivered a beat. They delivered a beat by 7 cents. They did it on higher revenue. You look at the stock, it's pulling back today. Land's End is down about, 4.5%. So, market might have felt it got a little ahead of itself. Toro Companies, which is ticker TTC, Tom, Charlie. They're going to be releasing soon. They haven't released yet, but that's one that's coming out this morning, so it's one to watch.
How about insights as far as upcoming earning announcements?
This afternoon, we got a number of good ones. Broadcom.com, which is ticker AVGO, Apple, Victor, Grace, Oscar. Their earnings estimate is $6.88, and the expected move there is 3.23%. DocuSign, ticker DOCU, David, Oscar, Charlie, Under. Their EPS estimate I have here is 40 cents, and the expected move here is 7.49%. They've done a lot of good work over there. They introduced this notary business to where you can get a notary republic to sign a DocuSign document automatically. That's a great idea. Look at Guidewire. They're also coming out this afternoon. That's ticker GWRE, Grace, William, Richard, Edward. They're expected to earn 26 cents this quarter, and the expected move there is 7.31%. Science Applications, that's ticker SAIC, Sam, Apple, India, Charlie. Their EPS estimate is $1.47. The expected move here is 7%. And let's round this off by Cooper Tires. Cooper Tires ticker symbol is COO, Charlie, Oscar, Oscar. Their EPS estimate is $3.30. The expected move here is 4.92%. So we've got a lot of good earnings coming out this afternoon to watch, Shane.
Yeah, definitely. Well, moving into our economic reports, Bill, tell us what we're seeing as far as reports today.
8:30 a.m. All eyes. There's two big reports coming out. There's the jobless claims and the international trades in goods and services. Markets are going to be keying on these two reports. 8:30, we also have productivity and costs, and at 10 o'clock, we have factory orders coming out. So it's going to be a big morning for economic reports, Shane.
Moving into our morning's critical insights, starting things off with some acquisition news. Baxter International, ticker BAX, is set to acquire Hillrom, ticker HRC, for $156 per share for a total of $10.5 billion. The deal is expected to close in early 2022. Builders First Source, ticker BLDR, is set to acquire California Truss Frame for $179.5 million. Ciena, ticker CIEN, has made a pact with AT&T to acquire its Viata virtual routing and switching technology on undisclosed terms. And lastly, Quanta Services, ticker PWR, is acquiring Blattner Holding for $2.7 billion. Elsewhere on the tape, Boeing, ticker BA, and Ethiopian Airlines signed a strategic MOU on positioning Ethiopia as an aviation hub for Africa. The partnership will involve working together in industrial development, advanced aviation training, education, and leadership development in a span of 3 years, with a plan of building a 21st century pipeline for aviation careers in Ethiopia. Boeing share price is up 0.4% in pre-market. In other news, Tesla, ticker TSLA, has temporarily halted some operations at its Shanghai plant last month as the worldwide semiconductor shortage hit the company in one of its most significant markets. A portion of a production line at the China factory was stopped for roughly 4 days in August due to a lack of key chips, and one specific shortage had to do with the availability of electronic control units, leading to output delays mainly for Tesla's Model Y. Tesla's share price is down 0.26% in pre-market. News on CIBC, that's ticker CM. The company has made a long-term agreement to become the exclusive issuer of Costco MasterCards in Canada. News on DD Global, ticker DIDI. Didi is one of 11 ride-hailing firms that was interviewed by Chinese regulators who allege the companies have been recruiting unapproved drivers and vehicles. Firms said that they would look to fix any problems and stop signing unapproved drivers, according to the Ministry of Transport, which together with Cyberspace Administration of China and other regulators jointly interviewed the companies. Regulators also said that the ride-hailing companies should reduce their ride commission, not push business risks to drivers or attract them via fake promotions, and drivers should have enough time to rest. News on Apple, ticker AAPL. Apple is set to open its first Apple store in Hunan province in China on September 4th. And in other news on Apple, the company said it will allow developers of reader apps around the world to link an external website to set up or manage an account beginning early next year. Apple said the action was among changes being made to close an investigation by the Japan Fair Trade Commission. The company will apply the change globally to all reader apps on its app store. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Well, Shane, I break my news alerts down into specific events. I'm looking for specific, industry sectors. I'm looking oil and gas. I'm watching, I'm also watching various sectors like, semiconductors. I'm also watching airlines. But then I have events, earnings. What are the earnings? What are the buybacks? And just having that information flow very quickly to me is a huge game changer. I look at my FANG sector this morning, and I'm starting off with Google because the Department of Justice is thought to be preparing a new antitrust suit over Google's ad tech businesses. So that's not positive. But one positive for Google is apparently their YouTube music services. Apparently, these guys have 50 million paying subscribers to its music streaming service. That's big news. You look over at Facebook. Facebook, their WhatsApp was fined $267 million by Irish data regulators. I mean, that's a drop in the bucket for Facebook, but it's never good to be fined by a regulator. Apple, they're looking at creating a new watch. It's ticker AAPL. And on this new watch, they're going to be doing blood pressure monitoring and wrist thermometers, so where they can, judge your body temperature. But the problem is they're going to mine that data, and I don't think that's going to be, go over well with people, having their health records being mined by Apple. You're looking over at Amazon. Amazon, Japan is investigating Amazon's web services, AWS's outage that disrupted operations at, various major brokerage operations, actually, phone carriers and one of the biggest airlines. The outage was severe, was long, and apparently it's been going on, rather often. So, their web services are not firing on all cylinders in Japan, that's for sure. You're looking at the Dow Jones 30 alerts that are coming out. Boeing received an order for 5 new 737-8 jets from Griffin Global. Griffin Global is an airline leasing company. Also, the Malaysian government is now going to allow the 737 MAX back into its airspace as it has cleared waivers. IBM and Mercedes are developing a stolen vehicle help signal for the Mercedes Me services. McDonald's, this is interesting. The FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, they're reaching out to McDonald's franchises over their ice cream vending machines. The McFlurries, the ice creams for the sundaes, what have you. Apparently, the machines require a 4-hour cleaning every night. If anything goes wrong and they break down, they're out of commission for weeks. They got to call a tech to come and fix them, and it's a long cleaning process. But there's something wrong with this deal because McDonald's signed this contract and it's like really for the life of the machine. So I think McDonald's is kind of putting some pressure on the FTC to kind of help them get out of that contract because it's not working for them. In terms of the option market here, some stocks that should have increasing option volume today. AI, Chewy, ticker CHWY, Five Below, ticker FIVE, Hewlett Packard Enterprises, ticker HPE, Duluth, it's ticker DLTH, David, Larry, Tom, Henry, Signet Jewelers, ticker SIG, Sam, India, Grace, Broadcom, which is ticker AVGO, Apple, Victor, Grace, Oscar, and Sienna, Charlie, India, Edward, Nancy. In terms of buyback news that I saw hitting the tape, Signet Jewelers, ticker SIG, Sam, India, Grace. They said that they're raising their share repurchasing authorization to 225 million. The previous number was 166 million, so that's a nice net add. And ticker DCI, David, Charlie, India, Donaldson Company. They expect to buy back about 2% of its outstanding shares next year in 2022. In terms of shareholders meeting that I'm seeing going on, Blink Charging Company, that's ticker BLNK, Boy, Larry, Nancy, Kilo. They're having a shareholders meeting today that starts at 10 a.m. And Nathan's Famous, ticker NATH, Nancy Apple, Tom Henry. Their shareholders meetings also start today at 10 a.m. But that's what I see for news events going on, Shane.
Let's talk about our Trade Talk picks for today. I'm picking Broadcom, ticker AVGO. This is an earnings play. They've got a $6.88 estimated EPS coming out after market close today. The third quarter results are likely to reflect gains from solid uptick in infrastructure, software, and Wi-Fi 6E compliant solutions. So they look pretty bright, and they're looking like they could definitely see some positivity as we go into the market today. I would say, with this pick, I'm going to take the gains where I can see them, and I'm suggesting the same for our listeners. I expect there might be a bit of volatility after they make their earnings announcement. I think it will be positive. I think they will beat estimates, but as soon as they see an uptick, they might also see it or sell off. So I'm expecting that to be a possibility. So I'm saying, if we can see some positivity today during market play, let's take the gains early and let's get out before that happens. So that's my pick. What's your pick looking like, Bill?
I'm going with Boeing, ticker BA, Boy Apple. The news flow again is very positive. That new plane order, that's nice. Malaysia opening up the airways, to the MAX 737 Max. That's good news. The stock should move higher off the opening print. I think a rebound is about to really start to have legs here in Boeing. I just want to get under the 219 area. I want to, if I can get in at 218.25, 218.50, that would be wonderful. But I'm going with shares of Boeing today, Boy Apple, for my stock of the day, Shane.
Well, let's move into what's hot off the press, the news that's hitting the tape as we speak. Let's go ahead and get into it. Bill, what are some headlines we should let traders know about?
Ticker JPM, John Paul Mary, JP Morgan reportedly agrees to pay $30 million to settle a French tax fraud case. American Eagle, ticker AEO, Apple Edward Oscar. They just released earnings. They topped estimates by 5 cents, but looks like their revenue came up short. You look at AEO, it's down 11% in the pre-market.
Thermo Fisher Scientific, ticker TMO, announced today that it's received a $192.5 million contract from the U.S. Department of Defense. Here's one on Chevron, ticker CVX, and Bungie, ticker BG. Chevron and Bungie have entered a proposed joint venture to create new renewable fuel feedstocks. Nikola, ticker NKLA, has signed an agreement with Bosch for a fuel cell manufacturing proposal.
IBM creates personal fantasy football experience with updated trade assist with Watson.
Amazon, ticker AMZN, has launched a agroforestry and restoration accelerator partnership with the National Conservancy for some implementation for some work it's doing in Brazilian, Amazonian territory.
Seeing a lot of price target raises for Costco this morning, ticker COST, Charlie Oscar Sam Tom. Remember, they came out last night with their August sales revenue, which was very positive.
Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
No, that's all I'm seeing, Shane.
Same here. So that's hot. That's what's hot off the press. Traders, keep in mind you can receive the same breaking stories we do simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out. Get a free trial. Lastly, moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Wednesday. I had Land's End, ticker LE. It opened at $34.18 and went up to as high as $35.06 for a 2.57% gain. And that was just past 1 p.m. And it really sustained there. It was back up at that same range about 2 p.m. too. So there was a good amount of time to get a good trade price. Ultimately, the stock closed a little bit lower, but still higher than the open at $34.23. So it was a good move for us. How did yours end up doing, Bill?
Listen, I gave Signet Jewelers yesterday. That's ticker SIG, Sam India Grace. My research was spot on. Signet opened up at $79.94, and during the day yesterday, it hit a high of $82. That was a positive move on the stock. And if you're looking on a percentage term, that's a 2.58% gain. Now, the stock did close a little lower. It closed at 80.66, which is fine. But this morning, after the earnings came out, this stock jumped. You're looking at the stock right now, and it's up 7.74%. That's a big run up. This is up over 8% since when we called it yesterday morning. Signet Jewelers was a huge winner, big home run. So I'm real proud of that.
Nice, good picks all around. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk. But traders, you know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.